সালামুন আলাইকুম। BFDF এর এটা দ্বিতীয় পরিবেশনা। এটা আপনার আবার আমাদের গেস্ট সাকিব আলী ভাই। উনি একজন অ্যাক্টিভিস্ট এবং প্রাক্তন কূটনীতিক। আজকে আমাদের সাথে আরো আছেন সাবরিয়া আপা। উনি আসলে আজকে ওনার নিজের ইন্ট্রোডাকশনটা দিবেন এবং উনি সাকিব ভাইয়ের সাথে আজকের কথোপকথনটি ইংরাজিতে করবেন। তার কারণটা উনি ব্যাখ্যা করবেন। তো আমরা সময় নষ্ট না করে শুরু করছি। Sabria আপা, over to you.
Thank you so much. Welcome, Mr. Saquib Ali. Thank you so much for joining us on BFDF second program. I'm just going to explain very briefly about why we're doing a program in Bangla and in English. We want to also be able to explain the internal matters of what's happening in Bangladesh to the international community, because we feel that it's a matter of great concern for us. So, if you would like, we could start the program. I would like to start off with asking you about the threat to hegemonism and an existential threat to Bangladesh by its greater neighbor, India. Do you feel that this is something temporary, or do you feel that this is something that is a real threat to sovereignty?
Thank you. First of all, I should say where I'm coming from. I never believe in conspiracy theories. I always have a very, very close relationship and very fond feelings of the people of India. My grandfather is from a place in West Bengal, which is now in India. And we were taught from the childhood not to judge people on the basis of religion, creed, color, and things like that. So when I grew up in Pakistan period, in 60s, my childhood, and we thought, we as in our household, we thought that Pakistan was going the wrong way because of their antagonistic relationship with India. And being Bengali nationalist Bengalis ourselves, Bengali Muslims, if you want to say, that we completely rejected that approach from Pakistan. However, I'm afraid that once Prime Minister Narendra Modi came into power, I think that the present government of India, by treating the Muslims as second-class citizens of India, if not in law, but even then we have CAA coming up. I mean, it has been, and according to that law, the Muslims are second class. Any Muslim who leaves from who goes from any neighboring country to India will not get citizenship, but non-Muslims will. So this actually proves if Muslims in India are second-class citizens, my point is, then was the view of the Muslim League leaders before 47 that Hindus and Muslims cannot live together, was it actually an accurate statement? I think Mr. Narendra Modi is making Muhammad Ali Jinnah's vision true, which I rejected, my father rejected 50 years, 60 years back. I think that from this point of view, that if Muslims and Hindus cannot live together with mutual respect, equality, in that case, I think, and if that is the way India is looking at Bangladesh, then we have a serious, serious problem. Because in the Indian subcontinent or South Asia, we cannot allow caste Hinduism to reign supreme and to make everybody else as second-class citizens or like a new international caste system in this area. We do not want that Delhi will be the high caste, the Brahmins of this area, and we will be the Shudras of this area. We will not accept that. During 7th January, this fake election, we understood that actually India controls Bangladesh's ruling party directly. The Secretary General of the ruling party has already said that because of the help, direct, I would say absolutely transparent, naked intervention by the Indian government, and it is perceived that Indian intelligence agencies are very much involved in this, in the operational details of Bangladesh's election. That's the perception here. In that kind of situation, they have already said, that Secretary General have said that because of India's help, they have been able to thwart the efforts of all other countries, most notably probably United States, that they have been able to thwart them from, in their language, that they have been able to uphold their definition, which is no democracy at all. So our government is completely subservient to Indian government, Indian central government right now. And India is involved in operational details. We have an ex-foreign secretary who has said that for appointments in important positions in Bangladesh, the Indian view, India has a veto. Basically, India has a veto. India decides who will be the important personnel, who will be the important officials of Bangladesh. So I said that we are not any sovereign country anymore. We are not. This is what was proved on January 7, 2024. So if we are not sovereign, then our existential threat is very real. We are actually sovereign only in name, only in the facade of the state. The facade of the state has a theatrical quality about it. It's a theater. But in reality, it is Delhi to who Bangladesh government officials look to for all kinds of guidance and I would say a lead. How Bangladesh government will do things, they get these ideas and the policies from India. Let me finish this way, that in that case, yes, we have already lost our sovereignty. So, that way, actually, it is not a threat. It is a reality. It is a reality.
You're living in Bangladesh at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We are reading the news and seeing on videos and social media from the United States. But since you're in the country, what would you say about the very recent events of not being able to have iftar in universities or maybe in other places, a potential beef ban or maybe already a beef ban? This is we're understanding where this is all going. I mean, this is it just seems like from the 7th of January, it has precipitated like this united India under a Hindu nation, religious nation. This seems like it's precipitating, and in a nation of Bangladesh is a nation of 91.4 Muslims. how is this affecting people on the ground? Are people talking about it? Do they realize the impending threat, or is this something that hasn't sunk in yet?
No, the people are very much aware. The people are very much aware. I think our main problem is our elite, because the people, as I would like to point out, that we in Dhaka or in the certain places, the better places of Dhaka, you wouldn't know what is happening actually. Everything looks very normal. However, if you go into the villages, if you go into the small towns, everything is controlled by the police and by the ruling party's goons. Everybody, if you are trying to be Islamic even, I mean, you want to practice your religion, you want to talk about your religion, this is completely discouraged, and they are, as far as I can tell, the police, the government, and the ruling party, they are determined to destroy, as a matter of fact, our culture. In Bangladesh, there was always a section of our middle class which was leftist oriented, and they actually control our media, world, and they control our academia to an extent. And these leftists have always had a very negative view of spirituality and religion, which we know in general. And they, as a matter of fact, tried to establish that vision, which will make religion completely irrelevant. And that way, in that case, they thought that we will have a very good relationship with India. There is a Indian strategy, long-term strategy, that Bangladesh is this cultural independence, or our cultural uniqueness. This has to be broken. I can see it in many cases. There is this doctor in Abdul Malek Hospital. She's from a different religion. But that is not the point. She's speaking completely against religious symbols, against any kind of religious cultural religious cultural aspects of people. She doesn't want people to wear hijab, the girls to wear hijab and all that kind of stuff. She made derogatory remarks about religion. I wouldn't make any derogatory remark about Hindu religion. I cannot. But they did. And then you have in Dhaka University, what has happened. They beat up people, boys, young students, for talking about the benefits, or what we can do in Ramadan. How is Ramadan important to us? This was nothing else than that, nothing else. But because of that, they were beaten up. I just read this morning that on 15th March, I think, Dhaka University Proctor's office has issued a letter that in Dhaka University there cannot be any program which will talk about the benefits of Ramadan, about how we can get benefited from Ramadan. So I think that by curtailing our free speech in Bangladesh regarding this issue, by beating up activists, by whenever we do this public, these students, as a matter of fact, the students as a response to, as a reaction to the Prime Minister's earlier circular, not to do any iftar party, any iftar congregation, the students were being beaten up by the student wing of the ruling party. And they are monitoring each and every program. They call themselves, they're guarding, they're guarding these, these congregations. And I do not understand why. The only thing I can think of is that they think that if people become religious or if people are feeling solidarity among themselves, this actually is a threat to the illegal rule of the present regime.
So basically, we're seeing a Muslim majority nation that is being hindered from practicing Islam.
Yes, absolutely.
In addition
You can
to-
practice Islam in your house. That's not a problem. But whenever you try to do something public, there is a huge backlash. If you are doing it in the villages or in the district towns, probably your threat to you will be much higher. But even in Dhaka University, in other places, there is a palpable threat. In all the universities, they do not want to allow it. So that's where we are. I think the Bangladeshi, as a matter of fact, I became a nationalist this time because I sincerely believe that Bangladeshi Muslims do not have the religious liberty to publicly profess and practice their religion. Yes.
Is this particular to Islam, or is it other religions also?
It's particular to only Islam. Only Islam. I have friends who are of other religions. They have no problem. It is only the Islamic people, only people with a beard. I'm not a personal, that's not my style. But my point is that everybody has the right to, practice their religion. And I would say that Bangladesh does not, Bangladeshi government and the government's political parties do not allow it. Yes. And there is another thing I just wanted to mention, that in Bangladesh, in many of the government offices, there is disproportionate number of my Hindu brothers and sisters who have been posted. These Hindu brothers and sisters, they are, I would say, they are misled. I mean, by the government and by their own thinking that they have to have an animosity or this orthodoxy in Bangladesh. Everybody has religious orthodoxy. This religious orthodoxy will not be allowed. And I think that creates a lot of pressure, lot of cultural, religious pressure on the people. The people of Bangladesh, the Muslims of Bangladesh, are deprived of their right in that manner. Yes.
Basically, it's the majority that is being subdued by the minority at this point.
Yes.
I would like to ask you about the economy of Bangladesh. What would you say is the economic relationship between Bangladesh and India, and in this under the umbrella of the topic of sovereignty?
We depend upon, we import a lot of foodstuff and all kinds of products from India. India doesn't allow much of export to from Bangladesh. In last 15 years, this was always the way. India and Bangladesh was that India always ran a big trade surplus, about $10 billion or something, $7 to $10 billion. And there was not much of investment from India to Bangladesh or aid from India to Bangladesh. We never had that. But since this present government has been in power for last 15 years illegally, India has done few things. Number one, I would say that India now can dictate, what they will sell to Bangladesh. Say, for example, Bangladesh's railway infrastructure, I think, is partly imported from India. We have for our power generation, there is Mr. Adani has one power generation unit, production unit, which is actually selling electricity very high rate to Bangladesh. So they are now they're selling. We have now connected ourselves with India economically also, which is not in the interest of Bangladesh. We are going to pay $1.1 billion every year to Adani, for which we could have, I think there is about 30%, I think about 20 to 30% premium on that. Number two is that that in Bangladesh there are about it is we do not have any number, but the finance minister, the recent the ex finance minister, the last finance minister, he was telling the present finance minister in a program about 2-3 days back. Mr. Kamal was telling this present finance minister that why should Bangladesh allow about 500 or 500,000 to 1 million Indians to work in Bangladesh when we have 20 million youth of Bangladesh as unemployed. This is Mr. Lotus Kamal said it. I didn't. So he knows much better than I do because he was a planning minister for 5 years. Then he became the finance minister between 18 and 23. He's saying it. So we have about, again, we do not know how much, but about $5 to $7 billion, maybe more, every year going from Bangladesh to India through the work of the people who are not legally documented. They don't pay any taxes, and the government is deprived of all the taxes. And so this is a $5 to $7 billion leakage from Bangladesh. This is also what it is doing is this has created a situation where Bangladeshi boys and girls are not getting the jobs in Bangladesh, but the big companies are employing the Indians. I was told that one of the reasons that Indians are given these jobs because the big businesses know that if they have Indians as their employees, then they get a preferential treatment from the government of Bangladesh. So it is in the interest of these business houses, if they're looking for profit, if they want to have a smooth relation, which every business wants, this is the thing they have to do. And the government doesn't at all want to know how many people are there. They do not want to allow, bring these people into the legal, framework. Because in that case, it will become, established fact. Everybody would know there will be documents. So they do not want that. So this is another way Indian interest is being preserved, or Indian interest is being promoted by the present government at the expense of the interest of our own people. So this is number two, I think. And number three is that because of Indian, hegemony, we have not developed our own, infrastructure, like our own health sector. We always wanted, I think, that the government, by their actions, have proved that they are not interested in developing the health sector, because if we do that, then obviously the people from Bangladesh will not go to India. Yeah. So this, so our development strategies are also fixed on this political subservience to India. That's what I think. There are many other ways, but like right now there is this India, we are boycotting India products in Bangladesh. Everybody, we are not doing it from any hatred to India. We are doing it as a protest against India's Bangladesh policy. We do not like that because of Indian hegemony, actions, that we will not be able to cast our vote, to change the government, to get some kind of accountability from our government. We have been deprived of it. And because of that, in Bangladesh, I would say we have no place in Bangladesh where we can expect any redress of our grievances. We do not have it. If you are an Awami Leaguer, everything is hunky-dory for you. And if we are not an Awami Leaguer, we are second class or a third class citizen of our own country. That's the reality. And you see the even, as I said, that toothpaste, toothbrush, consumer products, everything was Indian. Day by day, this Indian hegemony, they were going inside the economy of Bangladesh in such a manner that I would think that, in 5-10 years, if this continues, we will have no Bangladeshi large capacity for any trade or manufacturing. That's what I think.
So let's move on to the political sector of Bangladesh. What is the role of the opposition? Are they complicit? Are they vocal about their opposition to the current political structure and the loss of sovereignty? Or what is happening with that? We know that there was a one-sided election. What is the consequence of this?
I would say that our main opposition political party, Bangladesh Nationalist Party, is by nature kind of a bourgeois party. It's not a party which is built on confrontation, but it is built on it's built on a polite form of oppositional demonstrations. So they want to do, we in Bangladesh, we say that they want to do their politics in the living room. And in Bangladesh, the Bangladesh Nationalist Party is extremely popular, very popular party. It is a bit center right. However, they do not, because of their culture, they have, first of all, Bangladesh government has used the judiciary and the police, and by putting up, I think, hundreds of thousands, I think there is a talk about 5 million fictitious cases have been lodged against the workers, the activists of BNP. This, for 15 years, they have been harassed by the judiciary and the police and the intelligence agencies, and the Bangladesh Nationalist Party just continued to be within the legal framework of Bangladesh, be it, even though it is not actually a real legal framework, it is a made up thing. And because of that, I think, and a lot of leaders, it has been said that a lot of leaders of the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, they have been in jail for so long. Their livelihood had been threatened for so, strongly that I believe that the Bangladesh Nationalist Party's leadership inside the country has been totally broken. And they, according to that, they wanted actually to have a good relationship with India. They thought that being subservient to Indian interests, they will be able to get better relations with India, so that India will tell the Awami League government not to be, so hostile, antagonistic. But it didn't work. It didn't work. I think that their strategy is wrong. Just today, I think there is a leader of this party has just burned his own shawl, Indian shawl. So yeah, I think they understand that Bangladesh Nationalist Party is actually behind the people of Bangladesh. The people of Bangladesh are right now the main problem for the ruling party, not the largest opposition party. The opposition party, I'm sorry to say, he's been kind of neutered. And I would say that the Western countries did not come and help out this party for whatever reason. And so they have been, they have become quite ineffective in confronting, in trying to, retrieve our rights, to get our rights back. I think, and they say that they are not a confrontation party. So yeah, we are politically, our political parties, the opposition political parties have been totally decimated. Actually, they are not in any position, as far as I can see, or we can see, that they do not have the strength or of character, the political commitment to make this country ungovernable for the ruling party. This is what we in the social media are trying to do, to make it ungovernable for this government, but not our nationalist party, unfortunately.
That brings me to my next point about the United States' role in the last couple of years in Bangladesh. Ever since the election of Joe Biden, we saw a lot of talk about human rights and democracy. There's a great amount of interest in Bangladesh and its election and governance and human rights situation, civic liberties. Where does that stand now? We've seen that since October of 2023, all of a sudden there was a lack of interest from the United States. It was very sudden, and to the point where it seemed like they just was it a lack of interest or some kind of an internal negotiation? But the way that things stand today in Bangladesh was not at all what we were thinking would be happening before October of 2023. What is your view on that?
First of all, since I think 2021, the United States had imposed visa sanctions on a few high officials of the Rapid Action Battalion of Bangladesh. It is this way, when the Rapid Action Battalion of officers or leadership were sanctioned, the Rapid Action Battalion, which was the most violent, the most feared paramilitary organization in Bangladesh. It was. And they had impunity. And once these sanctions were imposed, it worked like wonders. The Rapid Action Battalion overnight, turned into a law-abiding organization. So we saw that what kind of leverage these, visa sanctions had. And then there was a new ambassador from Washington, and this new ambassador was speaking on two fronts. One was that Bangladesh and United States enjoys 50 years of very close relationship, and that this relationship will continue, number one. And number two is that Bangladesh will be a democratic country. There will be free and fair elections in Bangladesh. And because United States officially, through its embassy reports and all reports, they have said that the election in 2018 was not free and fair. It was, we call it the night before, the election of night before. And so the activists in Bangladesh, we were very, very happy and heartened by this development. We thought that this administration, Biden administration, will come in support of the democratic people, the people of Bangladesh, the people who are very, very democratic and wanted these elections. And this continued until October of last year. Once our government, the present government, said that they are going to go ahead with election, with a farcical election, with the election among the people of their own party, and there was the last big showdown was on 28th October, when about 500,000 to 700,000 people congregated in Dhaka. And on that day, the police cracked down. They, instead of de-escalating, they escalated the situation, and they cracked down and they basically dispersed these people. Once that happened, for whatever reason, the American embassy became silent. They did, and as a matter of fact, they were, they were as a matter of blaming both sides. In that way, what they were doing is that they were blaming the victim instead of the perpetrator. Because when you say both sides, violence on both sides, you actually let the perpetrator get off. Yeah. And that's what they did. And so then at that time, we were trying to find out what happened. I can tell you there was a Mr. Nandi, an Indian journalist, who said at that time that the Pentagon has said that because of their China and US rivalry, they will not like to make India unhappy. So they will not go against India regarding Bangladesh. And so they have accepted the Indian position that Awami League's this farcical election will be accepted by the international community. This is what he said. And I said, really? I mean, and I tried to, I had doubts, but he said, you will see, it will be proved. This is in October he was talking about, October, November. So now I would say maybe he was right. There is our friend John Danny Lewis. He writes from the tweet, and he said that it is not the fault of the people of of the U.S. Embassy in Dhaka, but it is because of the administration's policy that America has not supported, didn't take the actions which they said they would take. They said that if there is no free and fair election, there will be whoever actually worked to thwart a free and fair election will be visa sanctioned. We do not know still who they have sanctioned. I do not need their names. I do not. But you can tell me, okay, I have given 50 officials or this level officials, I have given them visa sanctions. We do not know it yet. I mean, I would say, that United States did two big mistakes. And I'm going to use American expressions. They talked the talk, but they didn't walk the walk. And Teddy Roosevelt used to say one thing, that America should speak politely and carry a big stick. And what they did was they talked big, but they didn't have a big stick. They have a very small stick. So yes, we are extremely, I think Bangladesh, with the people of Bangladesh, United States has lost lots of its prestige. Right now, nobody even cares about the ambassador. The ambassador has become a diminutive figure. So maybe United States and India will have their strategic benefits, but I would say America has lost the people of Bangladesh. That's the present situation. Yes.
So basically, is there a realization amongst the people of Bangladesh that any foreign entity cannot help, whether it's against it?
No. Lot of foreign entity can help, but no foreign entity will help right now.
Right.
That's the realization. We have said we do not depend upon United States. We will not depend upon anybody else. It is the people of Bangladesh who has to do it. That's why we are boycotting the products of India. We will continue this continue this boycott. Probably this boycott will expand in future. And it is the people of Bangladesh who has to take action. We do not have any, hope vis-a-vis the Western community. No.
Okay. I would like to bring your attention to the United Nations General Assembly Resolution 3743, which affirms the legitimacy of struggle for independence, territorial integrity, national unity, and liberation from foreign domination. Do you think that this applies to Bangladesh currently?
Well, do you think there is a genocide going in Gaza? Truth is one thing. And the international community's position makes it another thing. So the difference between the truth, the law, whenever it suits the international community, that law is upheld. And if it doesn't suit them, like, for example, if right now America is thinking that India is their main ally. It is by, giving India this South Asian hegemonic, role that they will be able to, protect their interest here or protect their system here. They are sorely mistaken. But if they think like that, then they probably will say, even if we are taking any action from self-defense, say, for example, what happened on 28th October, and the Americans were blaming the opposition party. They were blaming the victims. So I think that even if you think that this is a situation, even if we go to the court, that yes, we have the right to defend ourselves, I wouldn't be surprised if America and the Western community says, no, you have to be peaceful and get beaten up. They might say that. So my point is, I say that in Bangladesh, it is not fighting an armed struggle, but first thing we have to do, this is my view, my own view, is that we have to stop acknowledging the legitimacy of our law enforcement and our judiciary, because these are not legitimate entities anymore. If your judiciary and law enforcement is completely subordinated by a fascist government, fascist system, would I say that the Mussolini's judiciary was legitimate? Would I say that Mussolini's polices were legitimate? In that way, Bangladesh's police, and we must one time, and Bangladesh National Party never did. So yes, the people of Bangladesh, we who never broke any laws, we were law-abiding citizens. We need, when law does not protect us anymore, we have to say that we will resist that kind of law. And I don't know when this is going to happen, but when that happens, I think we will be in a situation when the country will become ungovernable, and that's where we should go. That is the way. Even the Indian independence movement under Gandhi and Nehru, this was their strategy, that we will do civil disobedience. We will make India ungovernable for the British. If we could do that, then I think we can do it in this time too.
Would you think that the best way to do that is to go for a grassroots movement of Bangladeshi citizens?
I think so. What we have is, we do not have any organization. We do not have any organization which can do it right now. Because if any organization is set up, it will come under tremendous, crackdown and repression. But even then, we have to, one day, we have to have this organized leadership, because without leadership, this kind of thing doesn't grow. And so we need, our people are ready. It is our leadership and our elite, we are not ready. That's what I say. And that's why, for the time being, I am supporting this boycott Indian products. We do not boycott India. We're not boycotting India. At least I am not. I am boycotting India's hegemonic actions. That's what we are doing. Yes, I think that this is our main, need right now. We have to organize our people. Our people need to see a leadership. If they see a leadership which will not back down, which will have moral courage, I think the people of Bangladesh are going to follow them. That's what I think.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Saquib Ali, for joining us this evening. It was a real pleasure to talk to you, and we hope to have you back very soon.
Thank you.
All right. So this is the end of our English part of the interview conducted by Sabria. Thank you very much. And I would like to say the reason why we are doing it in English, it's mostly the organization that we represent, CHRD Bangladesh and its political organization and BFDF. We can actually reach out to various Western government, including the US and EU, and agencies like United Nations and other humanitarian organizations, as well as different legal departments. So at times we feel that the perspective of our intellectuals or activists, public leaders, that needs to be actually reach out to these offices. So that's one of our actually reasons to conduct some at times to this interviews in English. So I think we need to wrap up right now. Thank you very much, Saquib Ali bhai, Sabria Appa, and now I'm turning myself into Bengali again. আমার মনে হয় সবাই সাকিব ভাইয়ের সুচিন্তিত মতামত শুনে জেনে উপকৃত হবেন এবং নিজেদের এই আমাদের এই স্ট্রাগলে নিজেদের যে দায়িত্ব বা অবদান তার সম্পর্কে আরো বেশি সচেতন হবেন। সবাই ভালো থাকবেন। আমরা পরবর্তী এপিসোডে আবার আসবো। থ্যাংক ইউ ভেরি মাচ।
Thank you.
Thank you.